Hey everyone, Michael O'Brien here, and today we're going to talk about the ethics involved in purchasing and performing magic. Hello my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Advice for Magicians, where my job is to make you the best possible entertainers that you can be. Now in today's video, I wanted to discuss something kind of interesting, and that is the ethics behind purchasing magic. If you do purchase a magic trick, when and where are you allowed to perform it? Where should you not perform it? Where do the gray areas lie? And then of course, maybe I see a piece of magic that I really enjoy, but I didn't purchase the effect. I just kind of figured it out by watching a video. Am I allowed to perform that piece of magic for people, right? Am I allowed to come up with my own variations on other pieces of magic that I saw if I didn't buy the rights to them or if I didn't ask for permission? So we're going to discuss all of that in this video right here. Of course, if you haven't already done so, please click the subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell. That way you guys know every time I upload a new video. If you want to learn some really cool magic tricks and add some fun stuff to your act, head over to o'brienmagic.com. Check out my online magic store. Have some fun goodies over there for you. And last but not least, if you want to support me right here on the channel and unlock some bonus content, you can click the join button and become a member. Members access a ton of bonus perks right here on the channel. And at this time, I want to shout out some of our newest members. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a nice warm welcome to Jody Robbins, Andy Stainton, Marcus Fail, Jeff Thornley, Ken Thompson, Danny Crook, and Alexander Loda. A lot of really great people have just joined the mob, and they have unlocked some really cool bonus perks. For more information about the mob, you can head over to o'brienmagic.com/mob, or you can check out the membership tab right here on the channel. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into the topic of discussion. I think it probably goes without saying that if you are going to perform a piece of magic that you saw someone else perform, one of a few things needs to happen. Number one, you should ask that person for permission to perform the effect. You should never see another effect that you saw someone else perform and just be like, you know what? I'm going to start doing that trick, and then just going out and performing it, right? You should ask for permission, or if this is a commercial effect, you should purchase the effect, even if you're able to figure out how it's done. Now, I started a company with my good friend Buck Bowen. That company was called Deuce Gala. We didn't put full performances in any of our trailers, and the reason for that was simple. The products that we were selling were fairly easy to learn. If you just watch the routine on rewind a few times, you'd probably be able to figure it out if you're a magician and you know basic moves like the double lift and things like this. So what we did was we showed highlights of the effect, we showed reaction shots, stuff like that, to show you guys that the effect works and that it gets great reactions and it's a solid piece of magic to add to your act. But we wanted to kind of combat this sort of mentality of, if I just watch the effect and I can reverse engineer it, then I'm good to go, I'm good to perform it. You shouldn't be doing that. That is not really cool for the performer, or should I say the creator of the effect. And, you know, in a way, it's kind of stealing. You know, if you can figure out how a piece of magic is done and then you just go out and start doing it, but you didn't purchase the effect from the person that you're performing it for, that's not cool. Another thing that you should do if you're not going to purchase the effect is, again, like I said, just reach out and ask for permission. Hey, I saw you perform a variation of a bullet catch. I want to do a version of a bullet catch in my act. It's very similar to yours. Can I show you what it is that I'm doing, and you let me know if it's similar enough, or if it is similar enough, would you mind if I do it, right? It's really a good idea to do that. You don't want to be ripping off someone else's act, because it is going to come back and bite you in the butt, right? Now, let's say you purchased a piece of magic. Where are you allowed to perform it, right? This is sort of a gray area because it depends on the piece of magic that you're performing, and it depends on where you want to perform it, right? One thing that I really dislike are creators or publishers that put out content and they say for educational purposes only, You're not allowed to perform any of the material on this product, right? There are a few projects that I own that are like that. They want you to learn the moves, they want you to learn the sleights, they want you to learn the routines, but they don't want you going out and performing them, right? I don't know, that's always kind of defeated the purpose in my opinion. If you purchase any of my effects, please go out into the world, please go out and perform them. I want you to share them with as many people as you can. But there are certain projects that might have certain restrictions on them, right? And one of those restrictions might be, I don't want you performing any of the crap that I'm teaching you guys today, right? Another restriction that you might notice, and this is a very common one, is restricted television or radio rights, right? Like they don't want you going on TV and performing the effect. Another example, my good friend Henry Harrius, you guys might know who this is. He's put out a bunch of really cool Rubik's Cube effects. I reached out to him, and this was a while ago when I was considering being on America's Got Talent. Part of the act that I was submitting for them involved using his Venom Cube gimmick. And I reached out to him and I said, hey, I'd love to use Venom Cube on America's Got Talent. Do I have permission to do that? And he responded with, yes, Michael, please. I'd absolutely love for you to do that. All I ask is, number one, that you perform it well. Please don't screw the trick up. Please don't expose it on television. And number two, you do have to pay me a royalty fee. And he gave me what his fee was to use it on TV. And that is a one-time use of the product. If I wanted to do it on America's Got Talent, then I wanted to do it on Britain's Got Talent, I'd have to pay that fee 2 times because I'm using it in 2 different situations, right? So there are certain projects with certain restrictions. Now, technically speaking, if there are no restrictions, there's no TV right, radio right, social media right restrictions, there's nothing that says you can't perform these pieces of magic. Technically speaking, I think you're good to go to perform them in any situation, but when you get to television, I would still, even if there is no restriction, I would still reach out to the creator and ask for permission to perform said piece of magic on television if that's what you want to do. There was a couple of people that were on Fool Us that performed pieces of magic that they didn't have the rights to perform on TV, and the creator came down on them, the magic community came down on them, and they were just like, well, I didn't know that I couldn't perform this on TV. It doesn't say anywhere that you couldn't perform it on TV, right? So keep that in mind if you're gonna be going on any of these, you know, Got Talent shows, or if you're going on Fool Us or whatever. Better safe than sorry to ask for permission from the creator of the effect before you perform it on there, right? I know that sometimes they say it's better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission, but in this situation, I don't think that is the case. I really do think that you should be asking for permission. And then last but not least, when it comes to people that are coming up with their own pieces of magic, let's just say you saw a piece of magic on YouTube, right? And you really like the premise, you think it's a really cool plot, you're loving the storyline and all of that stuff, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to come up with my own way to do it. Even if you come up with your own method for it, I would still recommend, if it's a commercially available effect, to still buy the original piece and or reach out to the original creator, explain to them the situation, this is what I want to do with this, maybe send them a video performance of you performing the effect, maybe show them a behind the curtain view of it so they can see what it is that you're doing, and let them know, hey, this is what I plan to perform. Do I have your blessing on this, right? If they say, yeah, no problem, go for it, then awesome. You're in the clear. You have full permission to go perform that. If they say, no, I don't want you to perform that piece of magic, and they have a good reason, like the method is very similar to the method that I use, or I don't mind if you perform the piece of magic, but please don't use this story because this is a story that means something personal to me, right? A perfect example of this is I wanted to do a really cool piece of magic where a card is underneath a turned over wine glass sitting on the table, and I basically have a card chosen. It's like a Red Hot Mama, but it's with like a Mercury folded card underneath the wine glass and all of that stuff. And I showed this to Helder Gimerez, who is a mentor of mine. And he politely asked me, he's like, I love everything about the routine, but please don't put it under a wine glass That's my thing. And he's like, I know that the reason that you want to do that is because you've seen me do that. And I'm asking you, please don't do that, right? And so I decided not to put it under the glass, but to instead just do it like the normal way with just the card flat on the table or in my top pocket, or putting it under a pint glass, like a Guinness glass or something, you know, would be okay, because that makes sense. It's more my character, you know, like I wear the flat cap and I'm producing the bottle of Guinness at the start and all that. So like it makes sense to do it that way, right? So even if you have your own sort of variation on something, if it's borrowing elements from other people, you definitely want to ask for permission if possible. If it's impossible to ask for permission, maybe that creator is no longer alive, or you've reached out multiple times and you've never gotten a response and you've really done your due diligence, and you really do believe that your effect is different enough. At the very least, what you can do, of course, is perform the effect. But if you're going to perform it to, you know, like a magician audience, right, to do your best to credit when possible, right? Discussed this in another video where I was talking about, you know, when to credit, who to credit, where to credit, how, why, all that stuff, right? I'll leave a link in the description below if you guys want to learn more about crediting, when it's appropriate to credit and when it's not. But that's my thoughts on performing magic in an ethical way, depending on whether or not you've purchased the effect. What do you guys think? Did I hit the nail on the head? Did I miss? I would love to know a little bit more your thoughts on this matter, or some examples of things that you've noticed. Please leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will be seeing all of you in the next video. But until then, take care, everyone.